Welcome, church, to another virtual online daily devotion as we talk about obedience. Sit, stay, come. No, not that kind of obedience or obedience school, but I think that most of us get a little uneasy when we talk about obedience. We don't like, particularly as Americans, we don't like being told what to do. I mean, shoot, we don't like being told where we can go or what we can say. We don't like to be limited in that way, whether it's in the United Church of Christ or the Catholic Church or the Methodist Church, doesn't matter, or any church at all for that matter. But we're often always looking for the angle of what's in it for me. For example, I'm around my house the other day and needed help with setting out some of the dishes for dinner. So I asked one of my daughters, who will go unnamed, hey, could you take some of the plates out and the forks, set up the table while I'm cooking? What's in it for me, Dad? How much are you going to give me? What? No. I want you to take this stuff outside just because you're a part of this family. Yeah, but Dad, can't you give me something for doing this? No. I'm making you dinner. I brought you in this world, I can take you out. That whole routine. Why can't we serve in a way that, I wanted to try to explain to her, you do this just because it's part of what we do as a family. And there's this powerful passage, it's reiterated other times in the Bible, but in 2 Philippians it says, Christ, we are supposed to model Christ in our daily lives. Okay, as disciples, we know this, right? That's easy, it's ABC stuff. But it goes on to say that Christ, who is equal with God, who had the same kind of power as God, and didn't consider equality with God in his human life something to be flouted about or this power mismanaged, but instead he humbles himself to be a servant in full obedience to God, even to the point of us killing him, his death on the cross. And so all the time, I think about, I won't tick anybody off here, but somebody says, well, I want to give a gift to the church, but I want to make sure that, you make sure you put my name on this pew, or I want to make sure that, that I'm recognized. No, it's important to recognize people for the things they do, the nice things but that's not why we do it. We don't do it to gain something. What's in it for me? Well, the author of Philippians is saying, Paul, if we're going to model Christ, we do just because the nature of God's love says we are going to serve other people. We're going to think of other people's needs first, without strings. Now that's really hard to do. I mean, we're always thinking about, well, if I gave them, it's their turn to pay next time, or it's their, we did this for them, and we kind of keep score. Well, we've had the neighbors over 3 times, and they've never invited us over to their house. They got a pool. I mean, what the heck? And it's this one-upsmanship. Paul says, forget all that nonsense. Think about what Christ did again and again, not for some kind of reward, not for some recognition, not for some titles or, status, but just to lift the lives of others. So how could you and I this day do something that's selfless in that way, humbling ourselves, just simply because, not what is in it for me? That obedience of servanthood that Christ embodies. Think about it, wrestle with it, and maybe catch yourself the next time you're breaking it. For me, it's an almost weekly thing, maybe daily. May God's Spirit be with you while we're apart from one another. Amen.